All right, well, thanks for joining us. I want to welcome you to AAYSB session on resume and cover letter in action. Basically, we're going to go over a couple of examples, one for resume building and the other is for cover letter. We have done two videos in the past, long videos, one on resume and cover letter writing, and the other is on interview prepping. So what we want to do this time is not necessarily, go over what we have gone over again, but rather share some resources with you on where you can find templates that you can download and build your own resume and use them as guide for how to prepare an outstanding resume. So we're just going to do two short videos. They'll be separate, one for resume and another for cover letter. If you have questions, leave them in the box and we'll be happy to review those questions and answer them to the extent we can. All right, let me share screen with you. And let me just disclose that I'm going to be sharing resources from Harvard University career website. We don't own the website. We have no association with the website. It's open to the public. So we're just using that as a resource that you and anyone else can use for their cover letter and resume writing. Okay. All right. What you should be seeing now is this web page. This is, as I said, the Office of Career Services at the Harvard University. This is their career web page. If you go to ocs.harvard.edu, you should come across this website. In this website, as you can see, there are templates. Okay. Some of the templates they have here are actually cover letter examples and resume examples. So those are just examples that they did for their own students that you can go and see how to develop a resume or how a resume was developed. Now, if you're ready, let's say you have reviewed the previous clips that we did on resume and cover letter and interview, and you're ready to start your own journey, then you don't even have to start from scratch. Harvard University career website make things convenient for you and many others, where you can just go here on their website and download a template. So if you download this resume template, for instance, if you download this, it's actually a Microsoft doc. And this is basically what you would get. Let's just download it here, resume. And we will open this. Okay, you will get something like this. This is a Microsoft doc, right? So obviously they are catering this resume sample to a Harvard University student, but that just doesn't mean that you can go and use that template, right? What you can do is, unless otherwise stated, right? Go on the website and see what Harvard University says. You can call them to verify, but you can use this template where you can just put your first and last name here. Okay, let's say, you're ready. You have notes. You took notes on what we said in the past about building an outstanding resume, and you're ready to roll with your own resume building. And this is basically it. You can download this template and then start from the top. This is going to go here on the top here, your first name and your last name. This is, your address, home address, city, state, and zip code. Then you put your email address, then your phone number. And it's just, you basically, let's say I want to put my home address, right? And let's say I would delete this. I would just basically delete this and put, 95876 4245 Highway Street, right? In what city? Highway Street, right? And then what city? Let's say, I don't know. It could be something like Arizona, right? Arizona. Arizona. In what state? I don't know. Ohio, for instance. I mean, something like that. So you can just basically delete what they have and insert information that reflects you. Okay. I'm just going to go back here. And this is it. So basically insert your information and then move on to the next section. The next section of a resume, a common resume is divided into 4 or 5 sections, depending on you, your experience, your age, and everything else. Obviously, the more you've been in the professional world, you're expected to have more, stuff on your resume. And this is understandable. So the first section for students, this section would be a big chunk, right? The education part. But as you advance in your career, professional career, your education should maybe 1 or 2, max 3 lines, right? Just university, if it's even still relevant, right? Far into your career, what's going to matter now, it's your experience, what you know, where have you been, where have you worked. So, but for students, this is mainly for, young students, other high school grad or college grads, and they're ready to take on a job. This section would basically be a little bit chunkier just because you want to add information about your career at the university and everything that you have done, right? So here you're going to put your university, where you went. Over here, you're going to put the degree. Is it bachelor's? Is it master's? Is it associate, AA? Is it a high school diploma? Then concentration. Now this is let's say a master's of science. This is the degree. Concentration. Okay, what did you concentrate on? Was it political science? Was it public policy? Was it finance? Was it econ? What is it? And then here, your GPA, right? You're going to put your GPA. It says here optional, right? If you have a solid GPA, what I mean by solid is, it's all relative, right? But I think, a 3.0 and up, this is worth putting here, okay? It's worth putting your GPA. And here, if you did a thesis in your undergrad or grad, obviously, when you're doing your associate, there is no thesis. So if you don't need the section, if you don't think it's relevant, all you got to do is just delete. Bam, delete it. That's it. It's that simple. But if you did do a thesis, then you would just put a line here what the thesis is about. Thesis, and then you'll put the title of your thesis, right? And then if they have interest in your thesis, they're going to ask you questions. At least they know the title. It could be, climate change. It could be, if you're in the medicine world, it may be something with dermatology, the science of skin, or skin cells or something, whatever it is. Whatever you wrote on, if they're interested in it, they'll ask you questions. Here, relevant coursework. Now, notice here, you don't want to put all your transcript because you're going to submit your transcript when you apply for a job. So that's not what it is. What they mean in this section by relevant coursework is basically classes you took in college that are related. And when I say related, I mean directly related, right? They are germane to the job you are applying for. So you will put, let's say it was finance. I'm applying for a finance job, right? I would maybe want to put here international finance. I may want to put macroeconomics. I may want to put finance, right? I may want to put capital budgeting, 3 or 4 courses related to the job you're applying for. Over here, obviously not a lot of people have a study abroad example, but if you do, you want to include it. Where you went, what were the classes you took in your study abroad? And then here, if you don't think you need it, all you got to do is just get rid of it. And that gives you more space to add information, to add more substance to other sections. And then just move up a little bit. And then here, let's say that you're in college and you've graduated high school, put your high school name of high school. Notice here, the farther down you go, if you're in college, look at the high school. Remember how I said, when you advance, the further you advance in your career, your education line is going to shrink to 1 or 2 lines. This is the same thing for college, right? As you advance in your career, 5, 10 years into your career, your education will become less and less and less relevant. So you just add 1 line, just like we see here, name of the high school and GPA, your SAT score, if you have it, and any academic honors, any awards like Dean List, President's List, I don't know, something. That would make you shine. That's a reflection of your hard work in high school. Could be, you served on a committee, or you served as student body president. You want to put that information on there. This is it. That's the education section. The second section here is the experience, right? Now, experience now, that's basically jobs, okay, you have done. That also includes internships. Keep that in mind, okay? If you have not had so many jobs, let's say you were working for family, you had a family business, or let's say that you were doing internships while going to school, you want to include that on there, right? And the way you organize your resume, you should start from the most recent, okay? When I say the most recent, this isn't about, you know what, this job sounds better than this one. This internship is better than the other. That's not how it works. What you need to do is start from the most recent. What's the most recent job you had? You start from there. Then what was before it? Then you go here. And then what was before it? And you go here, and so on and so forth. That's how you're going to organize the experience section, okay? So what you do here under the experience section on the organization, let's say you worked for XYZ Technology Inc. I don't know. Maybe that's the name of the company, right? Obviously, you want to keep it in online. Okay, let's just say XYZ Tech Inc. It should just be one line, right? You have to play a little bit with the formatting to make sure that this doesn't go to the second line, because you want to take advantage of every space, right? That you have here, and then you're going to put the company name. Then on the right, where is the company located? Which city? Which state? Right? Or now, if you actually were remote meaning you work from home. All right, you want to say remote, city, state, and then remote. And then the position title. What was your position title? I don't know. I was a policy analyst, right? If maybe not, maybe I was, a programmer. Maybe not. Maybe I was the marketing manager. Maybe not. Whatever the title is that you are given in that firm, you're going to put that title right here. Okay. Let me just put here position title. You'll include the title here, and then when did you serve for that company? So when did you work for the company? So let's say you were there for 3 years, and you started in January 2018. Let's say, for instance, January. This is just an example, 2018, and it went on until January 2021, right? That's about 3 years. And you just want to make sure that it's nice and organized, right? They align. Make sure the sides here, the formatting is perfect. Make sure they align, okay? There's just an example. Now here, position title. Now this is where you talk about basically what you did, the result of what you did. Remember, go back and review the video on resume and cover letter and take a look at the STAR method that I talked about in the past, which is basically a situation on a separate page, on a separate piece of paper or on a separate document. Make sure you practice. Take the jobs that you have held and implement the STAR method, which is describe the situation. What was the position? Describe STAR situation, task. What were the tasks you are responsible for? A stands for action, STA, action, which is what did you do? Now that you had those tasks, what did you do, right? What was the role, that you did in the company? And then R is for results. From doing what you did, what did you achieve? And that's the R, the result, that's where it's going to go here. And you can have more than one result. If you were a marketing manager, maybe you implemented a marketing strategy, right? If you were a salesman or a saleswoman, maybe you increase sales by 20%. You want to put that on there. If you were a funds manager, maybe you saved your company 5%, right? You made the company's operation more efficient. You cut down on expenses, unnecessary expenses. That's good. This is all good stuff you want to put on there. If you're in the medical world, I don't know. I mean, I can't relate, but whatever it is that you did while working for the hospital or the clinic or the the doctor's office, dentist, wherever you worked, you want to put on there what you did. Maybe you provided, you addressed customers' complaints. Maybe you made sure that patients were getting their medicine on time. This is life-saving, right? Life-saving. Maybe you were in charge of the medical emergency division, and you want to make sure that there was a procedure when they bring in the patient through the emergency door, that there are proper procedures in place to take that patient in for immediate treatment, right? If they're, hurt or wounded or something. So you want to put that information on there. So practice the STAR method. Highly recommended. Go back and review the video. Now, there is nothing different here. What you see here is just 2 examples, right? But you can obviously have more. Someone has asked in the past, hey, what if we have so many jobs? Like, I've done so many things in the past, and I think they all look appealing to me. I understand that this is good. Don't be hesitant. If there is a position or a company you worked for and you think, it would help, basically speak for who you are and what you are capable of, you may want to cut down, let's say on XYZ, instead of 4 bullet points, you may do 3. Okay. Be efficient in your wording. Put 3 for this company. Let's say this was medical Inc. I don't know. Let's say this is a hospital or something, right? You put your position, put the city, the company is located in, city and state, and then when you served, from when to when did you serve? And then here again, maybe this is 4 bullet points. You may say, you know what? AAM Medical Inc. You can have even 2, right? I've seen instances where people only include, if it's less relevant, but still can add some substance to your resume, just, 1 line, right? If there's something in there that you are proud of, put it on there. Put it in 1 line. Now, see, it gives us more space. That means you have the potential to include another company, right? You can include another company. Maybe it's BYZ, right? Make sure the formatting is the same. BYZ LLC, right? And what position is that? Maybe your property or maybe portfolio manager, right? Maybe your risk manager. I don't know what it was. Risk manager. Let's say this is something business or finance or anything related to that. Risk manager. You put the title and you follow the same format. Look, give us the city and state BYZ is in. Give us the position. Give us the when you served there. And then, you just come here and click here, and then it is going to make sure it follows the same format, right? Make sure you got to play a little bit with the formatting to make sure that that the format is along with the other ones. Make sure they align. Okay, you'll have to play a little bit with the formatting. Never submit a resume that does not have proper formatting. This will require some planning. If you just come here, right click, right paragraph. From here, you can play around with the alignment, right, of the bullets, right? So this is just an example here, and then basically add a bullet or 2 into this. But just remember, like I said previously, you make sure that your experience section, that they align subsequently. You want to start with the most recent, then the most recent after that, then after that. Even if you decide to include the company and put just 1 line of what you achieved while working for that company. Make sure it still needs to follow that order. And then the 3rd section here, you can see that it's leadership and activities. Right now, this is your extracurricular activities. This is something outside of your professional experience, whether it was a paid internship or actual internship or even a job. Right? This is more maybe community work. Let's say you do some community services. Maybe you sit on a nonprofit. Maybe you're providing a service. You're giving back to your local city, local state, local neighborhood, something. You want to put that on there. What role? What's the name of the committee? What's the name of the organization? If it's a nonprofit, what's the name of the company or the board you're on? The school district. If you're an elected official, for instance, put that on there. You want to put that on there, right? And put the role. What was your role? What was your role? Were you a committee member? And a same process. City and state, where the company is located, month and year for when you started to when you ended. And then here, again, 1 or 2 bullet points. Keep it nice and short for leadership and activities. You want to keep this section very brief. The most important, I would say, on your resume, also depends on what you're doing. If you just graduated high school and you're applying for college, obviously this section, the leadership and activities, and your education section are going to be the most important. Those 2 will be the most important because you're not expected to have had jobs, right? You were still a minor for the most part. So maybe your professional opportunities were limited. So these 2 sections will be the most important. If you're graduating college and you're applying for to work, you're going into the workforce, then I would say experience and education. Those 2 are very important. That's not to say that if 1 or 2 are important, the other ones are unimportant. That's not the case. That's not the comparison I want to draw here. But those 2 are given more weights, right? Are given weight. So it all depends what you're doing. Lastly, this is the last section: skills and interest, right? If you have special skills that let's say you think there's great skills, such as language, right? For instance, I speak 3 languages, right? Arabic, Spanish, and English. 3 idiomas, 3 لغات. When you speak 3 languages, this is something you want to highlight on because you did not learn those languages easily. It took effort. You may have to take classes. You may have to learn. There's a lot that went into it. You want to put that skill set because you never know. And then you want to put the fluency level. How fluent, how well can you speak? If you say, yo hablo el idioma español, okay, si hablas español, ¿cómo? ¿Qué es el nivel de su idioma? ¿Qué puedes hacer? So this is basically the level of your fluency. Are you fluent in English? If you say you speak English, are you fluent in Spanish? If you say you speak Spanish, Arabic, German, Chinese, Russian, whatever it is, put it there. Put the language and put the level of fluency. And then here, laboratory. This is obviously more related to any lab work, right? If you're in the medical field. I've seen, like, if you're in the construction field, for instance, OSHA, if you have done OSHA training, for instance, you want to put that on there. Any certification you have, electrical, plumbing, welding, any vocational training you did and you received certification, put that on there, okay? And lastly, don't underestimate the interest section. It's not just to, you don't want to make your resume all professional and education and all dry and, just kind of spice it up a little bit by sharing your interests. What do you like to do? By interest, they're basically asking you, hey, what do you enjoy doing in your free time? Some people enjoy, it may be as simple as reading, right? I like to read. Maybe what do you like to read? Is it philosophy? Is it science? Is it religion? Is it technology? What do you like? What kind of literature do you like to read? Do you like to go out camping, hiking, mountain biking? What is it that you like to do? Put that on here. All right. This may be a line for, you enjoy. It may spark an interview conversation, a short interview that's more lively. Okay. Now just more serious. This is it. This is, like I said, this is not, we don't own this template. This is a template owned by Harvard University. I give them full credit. It's actually on their website. It's open to the public. I just downloaded it and used it as a template to demonstrate how to build a resume. And again, if you, let's say, if you come here and you go to the website right here on this website, Office of Career Services, you'll see you can download the Microsoft, not only for resume, also for cover letter. We will do another sample with cover letter. But before we move on and close this session, let me just share with you a sample of a cover letter. Now, on that same website, there's this PDF and it's actually for master's students, but you can find one for college undergrad. You can find one for those who are ready to go into the workforce. There's so many resources on that website, so take advantage of it. Learn, go on there and explore. Now here, when you get ready, because a lot of people struggle with resume writing, and this has come up many times. Should I hire a professional resume writer? My humbled opinion is no. Okay, number one, it's expensive to hire someone to build your resume. It's not cheap, number one. Okay, number one. Number two, if you can afford it, money's not an issue, by all means. That's a choice you have to make. We don't make that choice for you. We don't make any recommendations as to how should you spend your money. However, I would say that when you're hiring a professional writer, you may want, maybe if you do it once, just so you can see how they build your resume. But look, there's so much resources on the website. There's an abundance of resources. There's no shortage. That all it takes is your willingness to sit down and explore and read and research. If you're not that person, if you're not willing to do that, obviously professional resume writer may be an option. But if you're hungry, if you're someone who is intellectually hungry at all times and you're willing to learn, you can go on this website, and look at this PDF. Here they give you basically examples of words, active words that you can use to start your sentences, because you never ever start a resume with "I did this," "I did that," "we did that." No, you're usually activated this and this program, right, to optimize our sales, right, to improve our sales. It may be lectured. If you're a teacher or something, I lectured at so and so university. I don't know if you did research and analytical. As you can see, they're bolded here. These are just the different areas: financial, creative. So if it's financial, you may use these words: allocated, analyzed, appraised, which are most common words in that industry, in the financial industry. If it's technical, this is technical. And if it's administrative, office work, admin, operational, that you would want to use this, right? And so on and so forth. You can see that. That's how you start your sentences. And make sure you go back and use the STAR method. Now, this is an example. This is a sample resume, and I'm going to close with this. Okay, I will close with this. This is a sample here. You can see this is, for the most part, for a student. How do I know that? Because I can tell by the education section. That the bigger the section is, the more it means. This is my own opinion, that they are the most recent student or our student. So you can see here, that's their name, Taubin, and this is the address. This is the city they're from, the state, the zip code, their phone number, and their email address. What some have started doing, and some companies have begun to ask that, is your LinkedIn link. So if you don't have a LinkedIn account, go and create one. Highly recommended. And make sure you build your LinkedIn profile and make it professional. And make sure that you modify your link, because you can change your link, right, so that's shorter. You don't end up with a long link on your resume. Okay. So here you can see education, Harvard University. Oh, they have an MA, a master's. So master's, look at the thesis here: dancing through the house of many mansions. That may be interesting. Debka in contemporary Lebanon. So maybe this is a question they may ask, right? Which center, from the center, and you can see here when they graduated, and the university is, city and state. Same thing here, University of Nevada. They acquired a bachelor's. BA stands for bachelor's. MA stands for master's, right? Master's in arts, right? And bachelor's are just a bachelor's, right? So middle class studies, that's basically the area of study, history, and they minored in Arabic. And this is some of the honors. So they achieved a high GPA. This is some of the, maybe the honors that they received while students at the University of Nevada. City and state of the university, and when they graduated, May 2015. And then here comes this experience section. You can see the name of the company, the position that they were given, where's the company located, when they served there, and that's their bullet points. The same thing is repeated over and over here. Now here comes skills, right? Maybe that person didn't have, well, they may had, and they thought, you know what? Because you can play around with your resume. It's your resume. You're telling your story. You tell it as you want. See, they didn't have a leadership and activities section because maybe they thought maybe they kind of merged it with their experience section. Maybe that covers it here, right? And then here, lastly, look at their skills section: language, Arabic, and they're fluent in modern standard Arabic, advanced in Persian. And then for computer, this is some of the programs that they can, that they have, maybe they achieved mastery in. So that's it. You can see this is another example. You can see another example here, another student, but it's the same format, same process, okay? Same format, same process. You can see here, right? I hope this helped. And like I said, if you have questions, go ahead and put them down in the comment box, and we'll just answer your questions as soon as we can. So this is it for your resume. We hope you find it helpful, and thank you so much for watching this clip.